As you look around, it seems that more and more relationships today are failing. Yet more and more dating apps and dating advice outlets are springing up, and the dating and relationship services industry, because that's sadly what it is now, is booming more than ever. According to a report by IBIS World, the dating services industry, which includes online dating, matchmaking and speed dating, is estimated to be worth $2.5 billion in the US alone. Statistics also show that the global online dating market is expected to grow to a whopping $9.2 billion in 2023. That is crazy. So how is it that despite all the blogs, courses, apps and advancements in technology, the dating and relationships picture is still overwhelmingly bleak? If the natural instinct and desire for people to couple up is still intact, what then has changed? Well, what is undeniable is that the world has become a very different place, and observations show quite a shift in the way that people approach life these days. And that includes love and relationships. Values, attitudes and outlooks on life have also shifted, and in many parts of the world, quite significantly. Unfortunately, some of these attitudes, values and expectations are the same ones that determine outcomes in relationships. Understandably, relationships can be quite an emotive subject, but to get the best out of something, it's important to understand what it is, how it works, and what the rules are, rather than make them up as we go or simply do what we think is right. If you purchase a complex piece of flat-pack furniture, as much as you might not like the setup instructions that come with it, discarding them is likely to end up a furniture disaster. So, having said all that, let's talk about just 5 of many reasons why relationships fail all too rampantly these days. Number 1. The wrong expectations. Unfortunately, many people go into relationships without understanding how they work. Marriage, for example, is a partnership that requires teamwork, understanding, commitment and compromise to succeed. I'm not suggesting one has to be an expert from day one, but as with anything, an understanding of the basics is certainly helpful and will save a lot of heartache or disappointment down the line. Those who go into relationships expecting a fairy tale or a Tinseltown rom-com, especially without building the foundations, are soon left disappointed when faced with the real world. Good relationships take some work, and this work starts way before getting into the relationship. So, here are some tips. Be honest and work on your character. Make mature choices. Lasting life choices cannot be based on emotions and feelings. Understand the difference between fantasy and reality. Jumping in without the necessary skills and understanding, only to then expect some influencer to coach you on how to keep your relationship, is not the way to go. Number 2. Departure from the basics. With any vocation or chosen path in life, there are basic skill sets that equip us with the tools to deal with challenges and help us succeed. So, it makes sense for anyone who desires to be in a relationship to seek out and work on the values and qualities that help create and maintain good relationships, such as empathy, maturity, patience, keeping a cool head and understanding the need for compromise. Unfortunately, too many people don't even know what qualities are necessary for a successful relationship, let alone how to develop them, and this naturally poses a problem when they step into one. You can just imagine the friction in relationships where one party hasn't got a clue about the basics, let alone both parties. It makes little sense for society and families to encourage children to dream about luxury wedding dresses and tuxedos, as some families and societies do, without teaching and instilling in them the values that will help them choose wisely and succeed in marriage later on in life. Number 3. Role reversals. It used to be that well-grounded families would set the tone for how the children were raised, including how they approached life. While that may still be the case to some extent, things have become a lot more lax in certain mainstream cultures and societies. These days, a feelings-driven society and social media have taken over, but on their own misguided terms. With today's information overload, fueled by social media of course, there's a lot of pressure to live a certain way, to have this or be that and the other. Priorities are warped, half-baked opinions are rife, while integrity and solid values take a back seat. Much has been said about society today encouraging women to become masculine and men to become feminine, or people feeling they have to, all in the name of so-called progressiveness. Well, successful relationships are not about partners shirking their responsibilities or diminishing their essence. Having and sticking to roles in a relationship is not a bad thing, as some may suggest. In their rightful place with true love and affection, traditional gender roles have worked well for generations, without ugly issues like inequality, misogyny, or infidelity creeping in. However, in today's world, it seems that it takes extra understanding and maturity on both sides to understand and accomplish this. Time won't permit us to go into why the most prominent and overbearing narratives out there today are fundamentally incompatible with healthy and successful relationships between men and women. You only have to take an honest look around you to see and hear it. Men should be men, and women should be women. Don't feel the need to shirk your responsibilities for a partner to pick up, or feel the need to switch roles to compensate for your partner's shortcomings. Look for compatibility to begin with, and you'll be much better off. Number 4. The Golden Rule. The good old golden rule. Do to others as you would have them do to you. This is also true with qualities that individuals bring to relationships. Sadly, a lot of people want from a partner what they either do not have, or are not willing to give. This causes strains on relationships, which become unbearable over time. On the other hand, if each party works on their shortcomings and is willing to give what they desire to receive, it makes for a more balanced, healthy relationship. So work on yourself to develop the qualities that you want in a partner or spouse. If you want someone who is patient and kind, work on being that. Why would you expect that in a partner if you're impatient and unkind yourself? No one's going to jump at such a deal. Number 5. Maturity levels. Not every adult is mature. In fact, a lot of adults today are still children in many ways, just in grown bodies. Broken society and families, uncontrollable upbringings do often have a part to play here. But at some point, every adult has to take responsibility for their own lives and behavior. A befitting level of maturity is super important in a relationship, to be able to deal with challenging times and issues when they arise. It may surprise you how many people don't know the difference between true love and feelings, or that a healthy relationship is based on one and not the other. Immaturity can manifest itself in many ugly ways in a relationship. From selfishness to uncontrollable anger, and even violence or other abusive or controlling behavior, none of which is acceptable. Avoid this by working on developing the qualities that make for a successful relationship before you put yourself in one. Try to offer the best version of yourself to your partner, and if both parties do this entering into a committed relationship, you'll both enjoy the benefits. Look out for character, and be sure to examine personal traits and maturity levels before you commit to being in a relationship with someone. Casually but carefully, of course, and certainly not to psychoanalytic levels. That would just be weird. And don't rush in based on your feelings or how cute someone looks, or even how lonely you might feel. That's not a good idea. These are shallow reasons that won't serve you or your relationship well in the long run. Identify and work on your own issues, especially the big ones, like self-centeredness, anger, or even abusive tendencies, before offering yourself to be in a relationship. It will save you and your partner a lot of heartache if you do. Remember that true love and healthy relationships are based on solid values such as compatibility, trust, maturity, honesty, and communication, rather than weak foundations like wealth, fame, or just physical attraction. Well guys, that's all we have time for right now. So much more to say, but so little time. But do let us know in the comments what you think. And let us know also if you would like a part 2 to this video to go over even more reasons why relationships fail, but more importantly even more tips and keys to successful relationships. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe even learned something. See you in the next one. If you would like to see more informative content, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so that you're aware when new stuff comes out.